should. Let's get this right. Let's get this right. Absolutely. What up, y'all? It's your boy, O. I'm having a major equipment malfunction because my 4th of July was awesome. But today we sitting with Poon Daga, y'all. AKA Mr. Poon Daga, AKA Mr. Poon, if you know. Or some love to call him Daga now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When you get an upgrade of names, that's when you know you're doing good at life. Like, as if you don't have enough names already.
Exactly. Because this is even more to that. If you're from LA, you might know me as Chunk, BJ, One Punch, C-Mac. It's
a lifestyle, man.
It's a nickname heaven. It depends. You know?
All right, let me know when you're ready, Taco.
Right.
Where's our camera? This one?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I should be focused on?
Mm-hmm.
I can square it a little bit more for me so I can see, because I'm going like that. You good? All right, count us in. Close that door, though.
I'm ready to get Poon to make the face this way.
I ain't going like that. All right, bad. Hold on, she finna come in with the, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get it clean. I think I better see it.
There wasn't another one out there?
Let me clean it.
Yeah, that looked like both.
Right, right. A little bit of water.
Yeah.
Get that clean.
That was the only one out there, Angel? I don't need it that bad.
Tell me, wipe the table off. You're gonna need it for his books.
Oh, for, Mr. Cobb.
The dream work.
Sorry, this table has been with us since the beginning. For real, excuse me.
So that way you have that, yeah.
Yeah, it's been part of the show, just as much as I have, to be honest. That's crazy, you get attached to shit like that.
We're gonna set up a small display out here of the books, and then another one in here. So
Okay.
that we can get pictures of that one in here.
Got it. All right, let's get it.
We're rolling.
Let me know when to start. I just want to start cold.
Action.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today, you know you're sitting with me, Hov, but we got a very special guest, and this is another episode of The Struggle, of course, sponsored by Angel Clubhouse Empire and Mad Boots Entertainment. And if you don't know who this man is, well then, great, I'll tell you. It's Mr. Poon Daga from Trap LA's very own host, and well, he's done a lot of things, and I'm sure there's a lot of interviews about what he did. But today, we're gonna get a little bit more personal and get to know the player himself. What's going on, man? Thank you for coming, for
What's
sure.
up, bro?
What's going on, man? It's good
Appreciate
to, man, it was good to turn on my Instagram and see your ass smiling, all 64 teeth on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm like, what this nigga got into now, man? Like,
Appreciate it.
yeah, like, he was kicking at Candyland, and then all of a sudden you on Instagram. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's that magical glow up, you feel
Hey,
me?
man, it's all good. God is good. That's all you can say. You know what I mean?
Real talk. I know. I watch obviously, and so a lot of times you've talked about how you've met with and different stars and managed different stars and how pivotal you was to their career, but you was behind scenes.
Right.
So everyday Joe Schmoes like myself, my cameraman, and everybody else didn't know who the hell you was, right?
Exactly.
And we just having a good time, just relaxing on some everyday shit.
Right.
So talk to us today about what that took as a person to be humble, to know your worth and not be valued by people, right? But still be on your mission and not get deterred by like animosity or angry, honoriness or whatever.
Well, I guess the best thing to say is that, like you just said, you know your role. You know what I'm saying? And my desire to work in entertainment wasn't fueled by fame, still isn't. You know what I'm saying? Even though now in the media game it has to in a sort, you feel me? But it's not. As anybody at a job and doing something, you should be fueled by success. You know what I'm saying? And being successful in whatever endeavor that you're trying to do. So if you set yourself up to do some things and you keep going into these hurdles of not being successful, at some point you're going to get discouraged and be like, I don't want to do it. But if you take the time to set stuff up, lay a foundation, kind of go the right way, which may not be the limelight life. It may be the sitting and listening life, learning. You know what I'm saying? That's what gives you the desire and the passion to be able to go after things and be successful. When somebody said, "Oh man, y'all ain't gonna do this," and you do it, you know what I'm saying? Multiple times, it's kind of like, what does he know that other people don't know? And the one thing I do know, hey, it's God. But secondly, I know who I am and what I am and what I can do. All I got to do is put my mind to it. So, me being a young kid at Dorsey, LA Unified School District, you know, having dyslexia, you know what I'm saying? Wondering why I'm seeing things slow and trying to figure things out, but still being able to capture it, learn from it, and then get accepted into college, graduate, you know what I'm saying? Go to a HBCU and really kind of make something out of myself as opposed to making a fool out of myself maybe in my younger days, you know what I'm saying? So that just takes you, again, knowing what you are and who you are and not listening to anybody else because they can't really fend for you.
Realistically, right? Everybody has something that they want to achieve, a plateau they want to be at. And it's easy to say what you just said once you're at that plateau. But in hindsight, how did you discover who you were and how did you learn what your worth was?
Well, coming from LA, we all sink into this hole, especially growing up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's, you know what I'm saying, the gang culture is there, street culture is there, and if you're a human in a sense or have some type of, you know, camaraderie to where you're from, you're gonna be in that. And it just depends on how strong and how far you're willing to go and what you see from it. And one of the biggest things that I did see from it is that there's not a long future in it. You know what I mean? So then I start really understanding like why everybody wanted to come to where I live. Like, remember, like growing up, how many of your family members that didn't live in California was always talking to your parents about coming here?
Yeah.
Like what is this
so
about?
Great about this.
You know what I'm saying? You find out as you grow up, this is the #1 entertainment metropolis in the world and been that way damn near since the 1900s. You feel me? Right. So when you gather that and then get a sense of the things that are notable here, the things that stand out here from the musicianship, from the churches where the musicians even come from. It's a long line of people doing musical stuff here in the city of Los Angeles for decades.
Right.
So therefore, once you kind of learn and get a grasp of that and see how worlds really mesh, from me going to church with my mom and me hanging with the homies and seeing how some hip hop measures mesh into that, because some of the producers will be playing in church, which you may not have even known. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine you wake up somewhere in Compton and go to a church and see DJ Quick on the organ. Like that'll blow you. Like, what? Is he a blood or organist? How about he's both?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's multifaceted.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, once you kind of get that and understand it, kind of gives you a sense of ability of understanding what the culture is about, what music is about. And then you understand the severe seriousness of it. I think a lot of people don't understand the seriousness of being an artist or working in music. So you can't really do that if you're in the street. You can't really do that if
Can
you're
you say
hustling.
that? Can you say that anymore? Because, I mean, a lot of people we lost because music industry was,
One more time?
combined.
One more time?
A lot of people we lost in the industry because music and the streets were combined.
What's the main portion of what you just said?
Lost.
So therefore, goes back to my thing. You can't do it because we'll lose. You know what I'm saying? Those that understand and was in the street and totally left the street alone and maybe kind of got it together in here, it's a lot of successful stories of those. I mean, Jacob, you feel me? I mean, we can keep going on. There's a bunch of stuff, people that dibbled and dabbled and probably left that world alone to be able to be successful in this world. And that takes focus, that takes a person being honestly with their self, sincere, and it takes a person to have some type of integrity in what they're doing.
What do you think? Let me get your take on this, because a lot of people think that when you're up, you stay up.
No.
But I've seen from meeting people who that's like behind scenes of bigger corporations, etc., they've been up and down and back up, and that was part of their
Down
story.
again and back up again.
And lost big numbers and returned to big numbers. And in your story, that's unique because you was there, and now you're back. What was that like, and how did you keep the will to stay consistent?
Well, when you're a creator or a creative, you take chances. So
Big chances.
you know what I'm saying? Because you had a Ludacris or a 2 Chainz or a Jagged Edge or whoever, it might be 4 or 5 other people that no one even knew about that you felt the same way you did with those people and it didn't translate. But you still put in the time, effort, and hard work. So a lot of times, for me, you just got to stay on point to know that, okay, this one didn't work. I got to get something else and know that it will work. Because it's sometimes it's about the talent, but it's more about how you manage your talent. And that's why I really take somebody key like myself and others to really help, dive into that, to help discourage you from things that's going to pull you away from being successful and get you locked in with things that's going to help you. You know what I'm saying? So to me, those are some of the things the fine-tuned things that I think I bring and the reasons why I think have been successful just in the business,
Now I gotta ask you, you've done this and you backed on it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you love it. Obviously it's in you, not on you.
Right.
So what's the goal now? Because you can't stay still.
Well, the goal now is to be able to have a true Los Angeles media-based entity that's respected.
You don't think we have that?
No. I mean, to where you doing what you do can call Harvey Levin and do something about what you just did there. And Harvey's not going to have a time putting you on because he's going to know that you are a true journalist, you have integrity, you have facts, you have all the things that matter into that field for real. Not shock value, more real.
I seen that
Media.
that inflation in your face when you said shock value.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying you feel some type of way the way the internet's moving right now?
Because most of the media is shock value.
And it sells though.
It sells, but
Like from a business standpoint,
it's faulty.
your whole grocery store is set up for that shock value, the color theme theory and etc.
But that's the cheapest thing in the store too.
Hey, it moves though.
God, it soda moves. French fries.
100 different brands of bread move.
McDonald's is the biggest and best. They're the biggest, the largest.
Mm-hmm.
But is it the best?
No, it's the best garbage.
Yes, exactly. So that's necessarily what I'm saying in that sense. Just because it's right there in the aisle before you leave, don't mean it's good for you. It's just there and it's available.
But we're talking about the point that's part of sales, that's part of marketing. So, we can't really complain about it. We have to understand that it is, right?
Yeah.
And then find another business model that's just as lucrative or better, that may have more morality in it. Because that's why people are mad about the show.
I think we could stay on the same page because before the internet, we had successful black entities of media and entertainment here in LA. Hits Magazine,
Yeah.
BRE, Rap Coalition, Rap Co. Like these were all big entities of media and entertainment outlets which were highly respected.
But if they were still around, they'd probably tell you, yeah, we need shock value.
No. They'll tell you that we died and we got too old and we couldn't really pass the torch to somebody who really took it like that. The kids felt like that the truth really wasn't cool. The shock value was. So that's why you have these outlets where people are getting mad at them because they're like, why is it? Because I want to be all the way clear. I'm not mad at a person doing something and having a market for it to do it. I just feel like it needs to be a yin to a yang.
Well, you got to. There is a yin to a yang. You got to think about the person who was smart enough to go after the shock value. Probably had garbage content, but they had 30 seconds of something, and they got bills to pay. Their life ain't the greatest. They in LA. Everything's expensive. Hey, I got to make this work. They did what they had to do. At one point, the player and me like, hey, play a good job.
Yeah.
But as a true journalist, you're like, man, this is some bullshit. This shouldn't be.
But like I said, it can run on a reel on your television does, like when you don't have cable. The channels that you get when you don't have cable. Like those are not the best channels, but they're there.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're probably not the most popular either, but they're there. So my thing is that to have a no jumper of Vlad, it should be something of quality at that same level to be the yang that tells the truth.
Do you mean quality or morally?
Quality. Meaning
it's
that's
probably-
something that
'Cause
intertwines
if
with
you
the
think about it-
actual artist, not the street culture. Like if I'm going to a music blog, I don't want to know who's fighting in the 40s, the 60s, and the 100s. I want to know who's developing to be the dopest new person in the streets of LA. I don't want to know who shot who, baby mama. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If that's the case,
that's gossip.
if that's the case, that can really actually be in another area at the grocery store to be sold or to be viewed. I don't think it should be like the most popular thing. And I feel like it's the most popular thing now because there's nobody there, artists maybe, even that's doing things to bring that look to them. Because if they were, they probably would be on the same level.
Well, they will go, right? Some could say, I would say, let's say it like this. Some could say, if you don't like it, beat them.
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So that's where my whole mindset came from, and not necessarily beat them, because I don't.
No,
really
I mean,
think-
respect.
I don't really want to say it's competition because
It is. This is a business. I don't know why people get so skittish about it. This is
Yeah,
a
but I
business.
can't compete with you if what I do is not on the same level and we show it. Like if we sat in a room and we did interviews or we sat and we talked with somebody, you're gonna immediately see I've been doing this a whole lot longer than you. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're on that level. If you're somebody who understands how to do interviews, how to run it, like yourself, you're gonna immediately see, okay, I'm doing something that I know works because I'm seeing somebody like, Gail do, or, or Strahan, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, because these are the type of levels of people that a lot of young people are on. Like,
So, but question, quick sidebar. Do you think Adam 22 can interview? 'Cause
I think he can interview on ignorance. I don't think he can interview
so
necessarily.
you're saying if he was to change
Like
his
I-
content,
No,
his
this is-
interviews wouldn't be as good.
No, this is what I feel like. I want to take, this is what he said. I want to take Howard Stern and take him in the hood. And that's what he did.
That does describe him. A
That's
very
exactly
good
what he
description.
did. You know what I mean? And Howard Stern even had porn stars and everything.
Yeah, he did.
All in the mix. That's what he did. I don't even have to ask him to know what he did. I see it because I was there then. I see the different questions he asked. If you go listen to some of Howard Stern's questions, you'll see it's a lot of the same questions that Adam asks to the people right now. So that just lets me know. Then I heard him even in the interview say, he's the God. So if he's saying he's the guy, his platform is set up the same way. He's just another mark of that. So instead of having the the bad breath dude and the 40-year-old virgin and all the people that he had on his cast, he got Crips and Bloods.
Yeah, I just don't see anybody that stays successful with him. And
No, you can't say that.
who stayed on the show. That's
Okay, come on. I mean, we can't be unfair. Just because you leave somewhere disgruntledly, you can't say that you didn't help the guy get to where they are.
No. I don't see him keeping
T-Rail,
anybody on.
AD, Pun,
No.
and
The people that left his show, they're doing good on their own. I'm not
But-
saying they're not.
But the point of it
I'm
is
saying I
that
don't see him keeping with the team.
the point of it, he's not, because everybody's going to grow and do their own thing. No one's going to stay with him. He sets it up to where you're supposed to grow. Now, he probably doesn't want to fall out with everybody, but I don't think he's doing what he's doing to keep you there with him forever. He's doing what he's doing to help set you up. You go out and you go do your own thing so that you can flourish the same way he flourishes. That's what I really think he's doing.
So then,
Because-
can you consider him a cultural vulture?
No,
'Cause if he
I've
keep
never
running
said
on-
a culture vulture.
No,
I
it is
just,
said, right?
I've never said he's a culture vulture. I said he's somebody that sees a market, flies in on it, taps in, and give the people what they want. And sometimes when you're dealing on a, as 607 says, low vibration. Sometimes when you're dealing with people that don't know better, I'm just gonna say it like that, they're accepting stuff because they don't know better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if this all you feeding me, I'm gonna keep eating, just like McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Until you go somewhere else and you taste a real burger. And you're
Yeah.
like, this is bull. Like, I shouldn't have been eating this, stuff that flies won't sit on forever. I shouldn't have been eating it. You know what I mean? So, but you got to figure that out. It doesn't happen just overnight. Or you got to get in those areas and get around those people to know, all right, that's low, this is higher, that's even higher. Because ignorance is not knowing.
So at what point did you decide to make those decisions for yourself, though?
After the riots.
After, like, immediately after all that ass whooping, you was like, oh, it's time to
I mean, it
change.
wasn't even ass when I stole so much stuff, but I just felt like in my mind, after stealing so much stuff and seeing what LA just turned to, the biggest city in the world, how much it impacted everywhere else in the world, I was like, damn, I don't really want to go out like this. So at that time, it really kind of put in my head, like, I got a shot. I'm about to go to college and play football. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times people go to college and play football and just go there to sell drugs and then play for a couple years and then try to go to the league. They're not really trying to learn anything. I actually was trying to go get the real HBCU experience coming from here because our black rooted experience here in LA in the 70s and 80s weren't what it needed to be. It was just basically rhetoric, violence, you know what I'm saying, in the streets. Now, you had some people that were trying to do certain things, but that wasn't something that we gravitated to. I remember going places like St. Elmo's Village and, Lamert Park Museum back in the day and stuff like that. We didn't care about it. When I got to Atlanta, I really understand that, like, the culture and stuff that's going on here embeds you and enroots you for what you're going to do when you leave or when you get out of school. So it really brought a lot of real sensibility to me and understanding who I am and what I could be. And then once I got that, I knew I need to get the fuck up out of LA. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So that was that kind of point of view. That was like, I gotta go. I gotta get down south. And when I got there, I still was a little bit, on BS. And then I started opening my mind, experiencing different things, talking to different people, not talking to people like I'm pressing them. You know what I'm saying? Talking to them as if, they're a human being. You know what I'm saying? Not like they just on some BS. You feel me? Because that's how we are.
Yeah. From the LA culture, yeah.
Yes.
So we'd like to thank you for coming because you dropped some jewels for sure. What you got going on next?
Well, every Thursday, LA Rap Radar Radio on Trap. We just closed a deal with iHeart. We're on the iHeart app, but we're actually going to be live on air in like 40 markets across the country.
That's amazing, bro.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Trap, Juice, Juicy Drea, Render, Crystal, Juju, KJ, the whole team that's over there. Everybody.
Shout out Trap LA, man.
Shout out Crash, man. That's family. So we're doing things. And shout out to Leak Podcast. We're closing on a deal with them as well. To me, a lot of people say different things, but when you actually have a platform for young artists to be able to come perform and do their thing, I don't really see anybody else caring. No one else cares about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I shout out Leak for even having that opportunity and letting these kids do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because you got to get the kids away from the other options that's available. They got to have variety, for real.
Yes. And here in LA, we need to. It's 40 million people here.
No, it's a lot of talent here that's not being used. So let's start building variety so they have something to do that can let off some of this negative energy.
Like what you guys do. I checked out your whole showcase that you guys was doing as well. So shout out to you because, again, people got to care. And, like yourself, League, a few other people that kind of have those platforms to be able to do their thing. I think it's very unique and special.
Well, I think like people like yourself, Trap LA is big on independent artists, right? So like, I kind of see it like us fighting in the same cause because even though we do it on Roku and showcase them on Roku TV and in the streets, you guys are doing it live on Instagram, which has so much pull, and some will say equal to TV, because social media is about equal. So it's just getting them out there. And I'm sure you guys bear the cross just like we do because there's some dope artists that's really getting looked over.
And don't nobody see them. So that's why we're here, and that's why I'm here. Just keep spreading that same thing. So I appreciate you for having me, brother.
Let's go.
Thank you.
We're going to tap in for sure.
For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got some of that gems and jewels and put that in your crown. It's definitely cool to sit with players and learn. And as we go ahead and close this out, we love to say we love you, we appreciate you, we respect you. But Pimpin', we out. Peace.
We out.
Wonderful. Get y'all some air in here.
It is hot. You know what? You want some water, man?
Nah, I got it right here.
I'm gonna let you take a quick break because we got like back-to-back clients.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
People, we got interviews today. Y'all get to see backhand, backstage, behind scenes, all that shit. As y'all was probably partying. We working over here on July 4th. July 4th, 5th, and 6th. Shit. I want you to let that play for a bit. Let me get that water. It is hot as heck. Hot as heck. What up, artist? Nah, we ain't on.
Please leave your message for.
Oh, he just got here?
No, I'm good. I'm about to go meet somebody right here at Harold, so I was already ready.
Oh, shit.
I know, brother. Chillin'. What's your name? You from LA?
Is that camera okay?
I look familiar, huh?
Did y'all get a picture of your phone?
No, not yet.
Oh.
That's why I was asking him, was that camera good? Okay, you want to take right there?
Oh, hold on, do me a favor, get one on the Hollywood one, please, because I use those as the thumbnails.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna take a cookie though. I don't know why.
Go back.
Man,
You might have to stand right there, or you kind of tall, so you might not need the table. Yeah, okay. I get a couple of them right there to the Hollywood behind you. Follow me, please. Excuse me, because you walk over there at CVS.
Sorry, God, I had a water.
I'll take you in like 15, is that okay? 15 minutes interview?
Oh, for the rest?
Yeah.
I have to look, that's track LA folks.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure, I get that, them views, sorry. It's getting
You
real.
come out here and sit up at the table, the white table right there, that way he'll be already ready.
Cause what's crazy is, they just got syndicated.
Oh, they did? The white table right there, you know.
Oh, this is a dope setup.
Thank you. Go ahead, set up, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette, take your time. Yeah, they just got syndicated.
Okay.
So that was very nice of them to get this.
Yes, I'm glad he did that.
That's like really
I'm
fine.
really glad that he came.
Oh, that's really fine.
Okay, so here, I'll make you put this right here. I just wanna take one picture of him on the outside, and then, in the back of the Hollywood thing, so, and then that's it. I don't know. I didn't get it. Right, you use the phone.
No, working on something like you do whatever you should do, which kind of you do. You know what I mean? Say that, yeah.
I don't think so.
No, thank you. All that work we did with Dre in the beginning, now it's coming to end, because people like this are telling me. But see, now we know. Oh, now we know. Especially in Christians, we know it, we actually did it ourselves. Just like you had to figure it out in plumbing, we did too. Still trying to figure it out, huh?
Okay, so that's him. Done, almost done, almost done, almost done. And then she be here, a piece of water. Then we got Diane and Taylor. Taylor, Diane, and
struggle.
It's the struggle. Like the struggle that gets to success, or that have made it, or that's making it. You guys better do it, you know, and it's nice.
We both are, yeah.
The struggle. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Oh, no, we appreciate it too. We got more stuff in the making.
Yeah, let me know, whatever.
Most definitely.
And then also too, you know, try, hit him up to let him know about the Roku thing. 'Cause
Okay.
we met with a buyer and create last week.
Oh, okay.
So,
Be honest with you, we can, if y'all, it depends on what route y'all take. If y'all want y'all own, I do got a plug on that.
Mhm.
We have the license to sell TV channels, because we bought ours. If y'all wanna take that route, you know, that route. If you wanna get connected and know how to do it, you can do that too.
it's all good, you just gotta set us up, whatever, I'm pretty sure Crash is on his own. You know Crash.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't met Crash yet, but I've only seen him through the, TV.
I'm gonna link
And
you.
I can show him how to make money with it all.
But-
Put you in the group text with him. He does, just on the chocolate page, like every 4 days, he does over 1.4 million views.
Yeah, single.
He got some folks that got like 600,000.
You about ready?
Yeah,
Okay. Damn, you too tall for in there?
I'm a giant.
Oh my God, you had the duck in there.
Thank you, boo.
Okay, you almost ready, babe?
You have a sister?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go upstairs and get some. Get some. Okay.
Straight up front.
And then you take all
Once
this.
we get everything, yeah. Yeah.
And you don't, he don't care.
Man,
I'm gonna run upstairs, go get him some tissue. Okay, you go get some tissue. You got the keys, right? Yeah, it's the gold one. You can buy some tissue.
all that, bro.
And do not let the dough in it, cause she will take them gloves out.
She will like,
You'll
and she don't like you. If she like you, she passes.
If she, yeah.
Yeah,
If she know you, then she cool with you, but if you don't talk to her like
ask
that,
Dre.
man, she
You
done
get the
took
shit out of her.
two floods out of his face so far. He was leaking. I mean, like, it was pouring out.
I love seeing this shark.
I have a little bitty Yorkie poo.
That will bite and does make you bleed.
She growls like a bird. You think it's a big dog?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she thinks she's like a big dog, but she's not. And my son raised her like a rock, a pit bull, so she got the mentality like, like she thinks she's hard. And then she's short, so she'll really tear you up. And she like you, she's squirting all over your feet.
Yeah, that's true
Squirt
too.
all over your feet. Yeah.
What are you doing besides just doing pop-ups and, events?
Oh, no, I do compounds too. So I did a couple pounds last year. I think it's pretty good one. I did one really big.
No, what are you doing? Like, I should be crazy. Those are physical markets, right?
Yeah.
So pop-ups, events, comic-cons, those are physicals. What are you doing on your socials and internet to move you while you sleep?
Oh, you know, same thing, you know, posting on TikTok, Instagram, mainly YouTube.
Who's your promotion?
I do everything myself.
You sorry yet? My point is, we need the commercial.
Oh, yeah. No, I have a couple, it's easy people.
You already got it?
I'll show you. I'll show you.
That's exactly what I need to hear. Long story short, I'm looking for commercials for small businesses only.
Okay.
Right now, we wanna be 100% independent. That may change if we get a big name sponsor such as or Nike, we might run their commercials too.
Mhm.
But I doubt I ever wanna go under like 75%.
Gotcha.
Main reason, to be honest, money. You go big, Great girl. Really good. Okay, so
I
that's
need,
it.
yeah, ASAP, and we'll slip it in all our TV shows. Like between our TV shows, you know, we have the commercials, we'll have that motherfucker on TV.
Matter of fact, I'll do this with you.
You know, aircraft?
I don't. I have WhatsApp.
Oh, that's
That's
how.
only 30 seconds. Send it to me. Send it to Greenloungela.
Hey,
That's only like a minute, bro. That's like,
I need to send you which number, you have his number?
Who?
Or Bob, I can't remember.
Anya?
I can't send it to you, say, or to anybody, say. That's how you can send this stuff. What's up, at?
WhatsApp. You know, always WhatsApp. It's the best way to send it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's You just not supposed to work on your day off. You ain't supposed to be working on your day off.
That's tomorrow, sweetie. Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do. You like to get you, like I got one of those things that you can put everything inside and you just. I want my mama to sit deep on girl. I love it.
Now, what I've been doing for people, is charging them $50 to put it in. Send me 25, I do it for the whole year, I'm gonna keep it, because I put it out. I should have that. Now, that one, I'm gonna probably put that every show. For some people, I put them in every episode. Like, I'll put them in every show. I don't put them in every episode. But something like that, yeah, that's done. And how long was that?
22 seconds.
That's perfect. That's perfect, bro. But it's ADHD community. It's like they are, so the way they tell us to do it, they don't make us do it, but it's like highly suggested because it's industry standard. It's 150 per 30 seconds. Those are prime slots. And for no names, they tell us to sell per minute. But with that level of reduction, it's just nice.
You know, you heard of fiber?
Fiber, yes.
I mean, that's how I got the first time I got with fiber. And I just kind of told them the idea that I wanted. And I don't remember how much you charged me, somewhere around between 50 and 100. But yeah, that's what we came up with.
That's perfect.
When you put that down, I'm gonna go look at you right now.
You ready? I'm ready for the camera. Yo. I forgot I even had this going. Relax and breathe. Make some chicken. We hungry. Emily Jones, how was your day, man? Oh, people got jokes. Jokes. All right, y'all. As y'all know, we've been interviewing folks, so we're going to continue on with that. Today, we're going to sit with R.S. Cobb, and we're just giving y'all like a behind-the-scenes look of our little process. For those who love us, the rest of y'all that don't love us, hey, you'll love us one day. We ain't tripping. But today, we're going to sit with the... Well, I just got it, too, bro. You heard me?
Oh, yeah.
I just got it. So today we're going to be sitting with the author, and you know, y'all probably should pay attention because some of y'all don't read books, and it shows. So y'all want to know a good author to read? We're going to show you. All right. You ready, Taco? You ready, Mr. Cobbs?
Oh, yeah. Raise this up a little bit. Pick up my voice. Can I scoot it closer?
Yeah. You comfortable with the mic? You see, I have mine right here.
Yeah, just so I make sure that, you know, my voice is so deep. I mean, you got deep voice too, so.
Yeah, you do have to control it in here because the acoustics is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Let's get Mr. Cobb on there. Let's go.
No, just making sure my live's still going.
All right, we rolling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I'm Hove with Greenloungela, and this is The Struggle, sponsored by Angel Clubhouse and Mad Boots Entertainment. And today, I'm sitting with an author and a local what? A local favorite, as he's at many different pop-ups, events, Comic-Cons, you name it. Right now, I have the opportunity to speak with Mr. R.S. Cobb, and we're going to discuss a couple of his books. And you know what? Some of y'all don't read, so y'all need to listen up. What's going on, man?
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Play?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, we're gonna help. Today we're gonna focus on literacy because I heard literacy within the school system has dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Hence, I guess some book sales are down. What you got to say about that?
I mean, like, you know, it's up to, for literacy, it's all on the parents, you know what I'm saying? You want your kids to read, you gotta get them reading. You know, go to libraries, buy books online, whatever you gotta do. You know, my kids are reading every day.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, they better. You writing books.
Oh, yeah, hands down.
I mean, so in the book, there's a new trend which I endorse and love, right? Which is like a lot of how do I say this? Because a lot of us black folks are starting to write anime books, and the Ascari book, low key, fits right into that.
Oh, yeah.
But it also makes reading fun. It's like our version of comic books, minus the pictures, obviously. But what made you get into this? And now that you've done it, do you see the niche?
Oh, yeah. So what made me get into it was that I've always been reading since I was younger. And, you know, I got to a point in my life where it was like either I'm going to continue doing music because I was making beats at the time, or if I'm going to focus on writing. So I just chose to focus on my writing and really get into it. And this is the story that took me almost like 7 years to create, coming up with the world, the background, the characters, the laws, the magic system. And over time, I just kept adding more to it and building it until I had something solid and a good story to work with. And as far as the niche, yeah, like I tell people all the time, it's kind of like a mix of Dragon Ball meets Lord of the Rings. And, you know, once they hear that, they're like, oh my God, what? Like, oh, let me see what's up. And, you know, of course, the book has pictures in it. It has a small section in the back that's kind of like a manga, comic book, or anime. So, you know, I just did whatever I could to make it more appealing for readers, especially us, you know, black people.
Yeah, because we need pictures.
Oh, yeah.
I can read, but I still need the pictures because I want to see who got punched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, so right now, books are not as popular as they used to be. So we thought, but as you look up on your Instagram, everybody's writing these books, and you see all kind of varieties of stories, like you said, magic systems. How do you fit in, and are you happy about that?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy about it because it makes the journey more worth it. You know what I'm saying? To see other people doing it, to see that there's like a crowd or a club somewhere you fit into. For me, it's all love. Like anytime I go and I meet another author, it's always all love. You know, so I really enjoy it. I really love meeting people and talking to other authors and getting their experience and what they've done and how they've done it. Because me, I'm completely independent. I do everything myself, and anything I can't do, I kind of outsource, or I might hire somebody to do it. But other than that, the complete production of a book is on me. So I love meeting other authors and seeing how they do it and seeing what their experience is, talk to them about the stories and the characters they like to build and so on and so forth.
All right, in this story, previously you stated that this world has laws. What's law number 1?
So the main law is that the magicians or black arts, they can't use their magic just willy-nilly. So you have to be a member of the Ascari, and the Ascari are like the police. So basically, if you're not in Ascari, you really can't use your magic. The only way you can use your magic is if
Ain't that suppression? That's oppression, brother.
Yeah. Oh, I
That's
mean,
not freedom of speech.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the law within the world of the book, and they have reasons for why they made these laws.
Okay, what was the reason?
Well, the reason is that in the past of the story, there was this war where you had all these black guards going around just fighting each other, and they kind of was just running amok. So then you had one guy rise up who's just a normal person, and he pretty much like stopped them all. But the thing is, in doing that,
their butt?
Yeah.
With no power?
With no powers. And,
So then what's the use of having powers then?
well, I mean, he was a unique individual. He created like an army, and basically, he went after all these people. And then when there was only 3 left, he gave them a choice. He was like, either y'all can knock it off, or y'all can join me, or we gonna run the fade, pretty much. And 2 of them joined them, and the last one didn't, and it caused this massive war. And in that war, he lost all his people. So he vowed right there on the battlefield that never again will he ever let anything like that happen to his world. So that's where the law comes from. That if you have magic, you have to join the Ascari, because the Ascari can kind of put you on the straight and narrow, so to speak. Like it checks the.
Well, what if they get corrupted?
Oh, it happens. Like, you gotta read the book. That's the thing. Yeah,
What you think we talking about right now? You know what I'm saying? Well, I gotta read it when I'm talking to the creator himself. All right, so that's one of the laws. One of the laws is you cannot just be wasting your magic going around here acting like a drunk driver.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so what's rule number 3?
So rule number 3 would be you can't just kill indiscriminately. So like they have a thing where like It's like an African
Hold on,
proverb.
but you can kill though.
Yeah, but it has to be in protecting someone. So like there's an African proverb that says like if you kill a man today, you don't kill your enemy because his son is now your new enemy. So for them, they hold life so precious that if you have to kill somebody, it has to be to protect life, pretty much. So you can't just be out here just like, killing people for petty crimes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's rule. These sounds pretty noble. Where did you get these set of rules from?
A lot of them are like ancient African proverbs. Proverbs. As you know, the book, like a lot of the lore are based off of like, African mythology and stuff like that. Because when you look up like anime and fantasy, it's usually always European, and they do have African inspirations, always like Egyptian. So I just did a lot of research on different African cultures, different African kingdoms, the wealthiest kingdoms in the world, and I just looked up like laws and rules, and I went back and I started watching Roots again, and I started.
Hold on, you watched Roots?
Yeah.
Brother, you know how old that show is?
Oh yeah, I watched that when I was like in third grade.
I watched it as a kid. My mom's a school teacher. She made sure I watched it, right? And bruh, how long ago you watched this? Recently?
It had to be, so I dropped the book in 2023, so it was around 2023 when I watched it.
You referenced Roots to write the story?
Yeah.
That's some deep shit.
Okay.
So, damn, that's a hell of research, because that's a hard film to watch after a while, especially as an adult.
Oh yeah.
And it's hurtful.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, it's information like, oh, this is what they did. And as an adult, you be like, oh, this is what they did.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, so your number one villain name is?
Akachi.
And why is Akachi? What's this damn problem, man?
So Akachi starts off in the book as just him, and it's him and his son Amadi. And basically, you kind of see how abusive he is to his son. And they end up getting jumped by other outcasts or other bad guys. And he ends up killing all of these outcasts, but in the protecting his son, he gets stabbed. But like I said, he's abusive. So he blames his son for him getting stabbed. And he kind of takes his anger out on his son. And then something happens and Akachi ends up dying. And so Amadi is left alone and he kind of snaps. And in him snapping, the manifestation of his power creates what I call a summon or entity that looks like his father. And basically this entity is like, well, if you want to you can't hold my form, right? His magic is too weak because he's just a little boy. So he's like, you have to get stronger. And the only way that blackguards in the story can get stronger is if they train with their powers. It's like a muscle. You have to keep using it for it to get stronger. So basically the entity tells them, you have to go out here and kill people for me to get stronger and spend more time with you. So the story, now you have this summoned Akachi who's really going around doing all this damage, on behalf of this little boy, because it's really the little boy's powers, and it's manifesting in this entity.
So now he just want to connect with his dad, so everybody got to die.
Yeah.
Even though, did he like his dad even though his dad was abusive?
Yeah, he loved his father, but like in the moment of him snapping, he kind of goes to this place, or he's trying to go to the place to kind of put his mind out of it, but like I said, he snaps. So he accidentally murders his father, and then in that's what creates the new version of his father.
Okay, so he's going through some things.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like he's going to definitely whoop the main character's ass. What's the main character's name?
So the two main characters are Ru and Uzuma, and you follow their journey. They're like 17, 18, and you pretty much follow them to the training grounds to become Ascari, and you kind of see how like the way the Ascari kind of run the world, and the training they got to go through. And basically they're just, one's kind of like, more calm, more passive, more relaxed, and the other one's kind of like a hothead, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of see how their friendship grows because they're not brothers by like blood, but they were adopted when they were young because their village was destroyed. And then the other
What was the damn blackguards to save their village, man?
Well, the dude that saved them is a blackguard. His name is Baku, and he's a member of the Ascari. But that like in the book, he looks like he's like 60, but he's really like 37. And the thing is that when he saved him, he was stabbed by a weapon that kind of like broke off into his body, and then the fragment of the weapon interfered with his magic. So anytime he uses his magic, he ages rapidly. So you kind of see how all three of their journeys kind of go throughout the book.
That's messed up. Why the good guys got to be fucked up? I ain't hear nothing about the bad guy having a limit on his abilities. These motherfucking conjuring demons and old man trying to do right. Why you doing that, man? Why?
Man, it's just story.
Why you giving the good guys a hard time here? Nah, we gotta talk about this because in all of them stories ever written, the bad guys got the good stuff and the good guys is limited.
So in writing, I forget what the term is, right? But no one can really relate to a hero who has it all, right? Male or female. That's why you have movies nowadays where then the hero they have everything, it's hard to connect with them. But if you have somebody like Iron Man, where he kind of had everything and he kind of had to be captured and almost killed for him to realize the mistakes of his errors, you can connect to that on a fundamental level. Like, oh yeah, I got to see, he got to change his ways. He had to really see what it's like to be on the other side of the world and not have anything for him to get right. Or even somebody like, who else is there? Static Shock, for instance. You know what I'm saying? He was a regular kid, his dad was a cop, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't balling, but he had a good enough, but he lived in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier for people to connect with heroes on a fundamental level and on an emotional level when they have to struggle through something to achieve something great, even in real life, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody like Kobe, you know what I'm saying, rest in peace. You know, you see his journey from being like a kid playing basketball and going to the NBA, being one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to connect to people like that versus somebody who already had it and didn't have to struggle for it, and then they're just like, oh yeah, I'm that dude, you know what I mean?
But what if they are?
I mean, sometimes it's like that. It's just when it comes to storytelling,
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
So you had to add that aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I can forgive all the authors now
Oh,
for
yeah.
giving the bad guys all the good stuff. I never did like that. Because I feel like, honestly, to a certain degree, it makes you feel like the bad guys will always be one step behind. It makes evil seem cooler. We got enough of that in this
Oh
world.
yeah. Oh,
You know, maybe you can, since I'm talking to an author, you know, you can maybe think about, you know what I'm saying, incorporating random goodness that blesses people or something.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing with villains too. You have to the villain, how he got there to be a villain has to make sense also. You know what I'm saying? Because every villain is the hero of their own story. You know what I mean? So it's a journey for us to follow the hero. Because a lot of times we put ourselves in their shoes and we're rooting for them to overcome. But too, with a villain, you know, they have a story too. They just go about doing it in a messed up way. You know what I mean? Like Killmonger from the Black Panther movie.
I don't think Killmonger was a villain. He was in his situation, technically he was an antagonist,
Yeah.
not a villain. There's a difference.
Oh yeah.
All right. So an antagonist just happens to be the opposing force of the main character.
Oh yeah.
But he wasn't a villain. If you looked at what he said,
Yeah.
we could definitely, as us average African Americans, you know, could use some of his damn thinking.
Oh yeah, no, hands down. But it's a villain in the terms of what he wanted to do at the end of the day. He wanted the Wakandans to go out there and just wage war on all the other countries and do that unifying thing.
I'm sorry, I don't see where that's bad. If you were conquered, and technically African Americans are still conquered, so conquered we got comfortable where we really think it's ours. We won't even go back to Africa. But if we woke the hell up, there is some retribution necessary for taking souls.
Oh yeah, hands
So
down.
we would
Hands down.
eventually get an army, do what Killmonger did if we had some self-dignity.
Yeah, but I think also too it shows a lot of restraint if you can go through something traumatic and overcome it and then be better than what, you know, people expect you to be.
You know what? That's a good point. Honestly, it is. If you can get your ass beat and keep taking an ass whooping and think things don't stop, that's really honorable. And it's also foolish. Like, realistically, you are a father, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he gets bullied at school, do you tell him to sing "We Shall Overcome"?
Oh no.
All right, so why should we as a people think that same?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we should sing,
No.
you know, Kumbaya and we shall overcome. No, but I just think that if you already get to a place where, okay, I'm the king of Wakanda, you know, you're running the country, you're the king. He already had gotten revenge for what happened to him personally. Where he steps the line is that, oh no, I'm not done yet. I want to take over Europe. I want to take over the U.S. I want to take over Japan. I want to take over China. Then it's like, okay, some of these other people don't have nothing to do with what he is struggling with internally because he's doing it all for personal revenge.
Was he wrong? No, Killmonger, let's get this right. He was doing it, and if you remember the dialogue in the script, he was doing it because of the impoverishment and enslavement of his people, right?
Yeah, but
at some point throughout history, whether we too coward to do it now, but somewhere down the line, someone's going to do it because it's always been done that way. Every nation that's ever been enslaved.
Oh no!
Yeah. So like for him to say what he said, it's not a villain. It's an eventuality. Hence white guilt, because they know it's gonna come one day.
Oh yeah. But I just feel like.
Because ultimately we were mocking the great author, right?
Oh yeah.
So like in his storyline, according to his rule and his magic systems on this planet, there's always some revolt eventually caused by tyranny, right?
Oh yeah, hands down.
So with that being said, it was Killmonger really a villain?
In the context of the story, yes.
He's standing on that. Okay, I got you.
Because it's just, if his father wouldn't have been killed by T'Challa's father, and then we don't know what his journey would have been like. That's the thing. It's a big what if.
But see, we're calling the murderer's son righteous.
But we're calling him a murderer based on the laws here in this country. They're from another country. We don't know.
To go in any country on this planet and go kill somebody is against the law.
Well, but don't forget either. The only reason he killed them is because he let Claw come into Wakanda, steal vibranium, and kill Wakandans. So
That's illegal too.
With death and murder, it's like a slippery slope, and that's why I like that quote I mentioned earlier about killing someone and their son coming after you, because the cycle of violence never ends, and someone has to be willing to end it. You know, that's the difference between.
Well, violence is already being created. We can't stop it.
Yeah.
Anything that's been created cannot be uncreated.
That's true. That's true. But eventually, someone has to say, "This is enough bloodshed. This is enough." Think about, like, I grew up in Compton, where I've been, people, do wild stuff my whole life, and eventually, at one point, it's like, all right,
That's enough.
This is enough. You know what I'm saying? We killing each other. You know what I mean? When does it stop?
I haven't seen them say that yet, but
Yeah.
because they still kill it in Compton.
Oh yeah. Hands
Unfortunately.
down. Yeah,
God bless those.
So
So
eventually,
back to the book, because this is loosely written, just to see where your mind's at and what kind of how deep you go into your writing, right? So all right, so we went through over law 1, law 3. What's the most hypocritical law?
most hypocritical law in the book.
You gotta have a hypocritical law, man.
I would say it's the thing with the magic. You know what I'm saying? It's the first one. Only because you have characters that are like, well, like I just want to live my life. You know what I'm saying? I may not necessarily be evil, but if I choose to use my magic and not join this thing, then I'm technically a criminal. So it's kind of the most hypocritical law in the whole story, because it's like, you want to just be you. You know what I mean? But you can't, because you have this force saying that, no, if you use your power, it's going to come after you.
That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, that's oppression.
Oh, yeah.
Because you telling me anything that I can do is you stepping on my God-given talents. Who told you can tell me anything?
Yeah, exactly. And that's how some of the outcasts in the story kind of respond to it. Like,
Are they outcasts or are they rebels, bro?
Well, they're called outcasts within the world of the story.
So are they the bummy people that's broke, living in
No,
shelters? And
not
shit?
necessarily. It's just the fact that they don't abide by the normal rules.
Okay.
So they're just considered outcasts off top.
Okay, they wear different clothing or anything, or
No, they can still wear the same clothes, still live in society. Well, they can't live in society if they're outcasts, but they'll still wear like the regular clothes, but they'll have to basically be on the run for the rest of their lives. Unless they want to provide a service to the kingdom, then they can turn themselves in and do that. But for the most part, a lot of black artists.
I don't know how good the good guy really is, bro. So it sounds like a totalitarian.
Well, you gotta read the
That's a
story.
dictator by any definition. I don't care if he say he's good or not. I know a lot of people that said they were good and act like a tyrant, and it's kind of sound kind of tyrannical right now. But all right, you know what? I'm gonna have to read the book.
Yeah, there's a lot of moral, ambiguity within the.
And just in the description of them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, you know what, man? Thank you for coming, bro. This book sounds hella interesting. Before you go, what do you think you can say to the audience that can help the next author?
Just keep writing. You know what I'm saying? Take it one day at a time. Just keep writing. Don't give up. That's the best thing you can do as an author. Is just write and create. The moment you stop writing and creating, you're no longer an author. So just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Take it one day at a time. Don't worry about views. Don't worry about editing. Just get the words on the paper. You know what I'm saying? Because God gave you the talent. So you got to get the words on the paper first. And once you get them on the paper, go back, you edit it, to do what you got to do to make your book the best thing you want it to be.
Y'all heard it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we sit down with somebody very interesting, and I hope you enjoyed it, because, I'm going to read the book now, because now I just want to point out the hypocritical points. But anyway, that's me. I don't know. You may want to read it for another reason. In the meantime, we love you. We appreciate you. We respect you. But we out. Peace.
Cut.
Oh, it's hot in here. You okay, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. That was good, bro.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it.
For sure, man. Yo, do you think his good guys are really big bad guys and the bad guys are really good guys? Let me know in the comments.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because I have I just finished the script for this comic book, and it's a prequel to this, but it's building up the villain for the next book. And that's one of the main questions: are the Ascari really the good guys? That's one of the questions in the comic book. Like you kind of
Nah, they sound like tyrannical, totalitarians, man. Do it my way. He got an army. He ain't had no powers. He went and wiped everybody out. That sounds like some shit from Star Wars, bro. Republic.
We can take in the back and get a picture right here.
Oh.
Name for the phone stop.
Okay, you can take one of your books out there, so you can get from the Hollywood sign. Huh?
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and get your photo shoot. Did you have, that was gonna wear? Okay, make sure she gets the table with the back of the Hollywood sign. Put the table out there. Okay. Yeah, you're right, cause then we still got 3 more people. We got Iceberg, right, is that right? Okay, I did that, Taylor is the bartender lady, and then we have Diane.
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully her breath is good. But I'm gonna see, the reason why I'm doing Diane is because, I didn't even tell Diane, the reason why I'm doing Diane is because she's been very coming to our events. She's even trying to bring some colorful people out there. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. That's how she paid for her people. I told her, if people don't come, I was gonna refund her money, because I'm not gonna let you pay for something and nobody showed up. And when they didn't show up, she came back, I said, she's like, oh, you serious? I said, yeah, we're not here to scam anybody. We don't have to scam y'all. Y'all pay for me coming, y'all pay me go. So why we gonna have to scam? No, we're not doing it. If we don't scam y'all, she ain't gonna come to us faithful.
No, regardless.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Good luck.
yeah. So she's liking everything. She's here. I'm getting a chance to talk to everybody about everything. So everything is going good so far.
I think I need to charge up my phone. I went live with Poon Daddy, but
Unable to go live, why?